In this problem, we're going to be learning about graphing quadratic functions. So this problem says, find the zeros of y equals x squared minus 4. State if it has a maximum or minimum value, and graph the function. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is try to find the zeros. So we have y equals x squared minus 4. So zeros are when it crosses the x-axis, so when y equals 0. So we have 0 equals x squared minus 4, which is what we need to solve. So we can see right now that this is a difference of squares, because 4 is a square number and we have x squared minus 4. So that means it's going to factor into x minus 2, x plus 2 equals 0. Alright, so once we have that, we know that we need to set each of those things equal to 0, because for the whole thing to be equal to 0, one of either x minus 2 or x plus 2 have to be equal to 0. So we have x minus 2 equals 0, so we add 2 to both sides, and we end up with x equals 2, or we have x plus 2 equals 0. We subtract 2 from both sides, and we end up with x equals negative 2. So we know that we have zeros at 2, 0 and negative 2, 0. Alright, so now it says state if it has a maximum or minimum value. So we know that since the coefficient of the x squared term is positive, since it's 1 in this case, that our parabola is going to open up. So we know that the parabola opens up. And that means that we have a minimum value. And that's going to occur at the vertex. Alright, so now we just need to graph this. So let's draw some axes over here. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So let me just finish labeling these really quickly. Alright, so we know that we have points at 2, 0 and negative 2, 0. So we can go ahead and plot those, but we're going to need to make a table to find the rest of the points. So let's start with what happens when x equals 0. So when x equals 0, y is equal to negative 4. So we know we have the point 0, negative 4, so let's plot that, and that's going to be the vertex of our parabola. So now let's plot x equals 1 and negative 1, since that's on either side of the vertex. So if x equals 1, y equals negative 3. And the same thing if x equals negative 1, since negative 1 squared is the same as 1 squared. So we have 1, negative 3, and negative 1, negative 3. So now we have enough points to plot our parabola. It's going to look something like this. And we can see that we do indeed have a minimum, and that minimum value is at the vertex, and that is 0, negative 4. And that's how you graph y equals x squared minus 4.